Ethereum just did something that historically marks the end of the bear market, but a signal has appeared that has never shown at this point in the market before. Now, this signal could completely change how I am trading Ethereum over the next couple of weeks, and it could potentially provide one last major entry opportunity before the real bull market starts. I'm going to show you historical data, the current signals, and confirmations before I'm looking to take action in my portfolio. Here's my thesis. Check out the red signals here at the top. This marks extreme greed and high greed, most often signaling an absolute top and what is likely to be an aggressive drop back to the downside. Now look over here. This is the previous lower high in Ethereum, the last one that appeared in the bear market. This sits at $2,466. And you'll notice if we move all the way horizontally, now that we've created a higher high, you'll notice that the price action of Ethereum has actually broken this lower high to create a higher high. Breaking the lower high into a higher high is the mark of the bull market. But at the same time, we have extreme greed and high greed, extremely bearish signals. What I think is about to happen is a drop to create one last major entry opportunity. I still think it's going to create a higher low to continue the uptrend, but this drop could be a big one, and buying at the bottom or very close to it could yield pretty significant profits as we transition to the bull market. Let me show you the signals that marked the previous bear market breaks. I'm going to show you evidence of what happens when we get extreme greed. And at the end of the video, you're going to want to see this. I'm going to show you the entry signals that we've used to routinely win trades in our portfolios, both long-term and short-term. Sunday, June 26th of 2022. Ethereum saw the final lower high of the bear market. If we move over here, July 16th, this is where we broke above the level of that lower high. And you're going to notice we saw strong moves up until we saw extreme greed, before we saw a much larger move down. This still remained a higher low. Right here, we saw a higher low formation. It did not go below previous lower lows, and this continued the uptrend over the long term. But look right here. Do you see the color this is? Do you see the signal that this correlates to? Mild greed and neutral. This tells me that there was a lot of momentum to go around in the market at that time. We saw a move up until we saw high greed and extreme greed, at which point we saw major drops. And this isn't just a random occurrence. Let's check out 2018. Wednesday, November 2018, Ethereum saw its final lower high. We got a drop down into fear and max fear. Keep that one in mind for later. But we saw intense moves up. And again, we actually crossed the higher low, and we formed a higher low while we were sitting in what? Neutral and mild greed. And the price continued trading upwards until we saw greed and high greed, at which point we saw much larger moves down. Once again, we had plenty of room, plenty of an emotional sentiment from retail traders to continue upwards. It wasn't until we saw high greed and extreme greed that we saw the price drop. You're going to see this play out again way back here. Extreme greed, drop into a major entry opportunity. But interestingly, the next low never dropped below the bottom of the bear market. This continued upwards, and this bottom point was a major entry opportunity. Again, it shows fear and max fear. Once again, keep that one in mind for later. And this brings us back to present day. Extreme greed and high greed. You see that playing out right now on the price chart. You see it correlates to these high levels on the market cycle highs and lows. You saw the historical data that shows how strong of a move down those signals can create. And you saw that when we broke previous lower highs, this created major moves up, a series of higher lows and higher highs to create an uptrend and a bull market. But previously you saw that break happened when we were still in mild greed and neutral. This time is different. This has never happened before. And that's why I'm personally preparing for a fairly strong move to the downside. And where that price action leads us, where that absolute bottom leads us, remains to be seen. To make sure you are ready for when that happens, though, make sure you have your chart set Ethereum USD on the 4-hour time frame. Personally, I like to use the Coinbase exchange. I like to have my charts set with auto. It just makes it easier to shift through your chart back and forth and not lose your place. And I have the regular charts on. Once you have all that set up, you're going to want to check out the links in the description down below and head to the second link. And right now I'm showing you how to access these indicators at a discount. Go ahead and sign up for our membership. It's less than $50 to get started. And if you head to the indicators tab, with a membership, you are saving $150 off with a membership coupon code for the same indicator we are using. Click checkout on Gumroad and click I want this. Throw in that membership code to make sure you get that discount. Fill in your information, click pay. It's going to send you an email with the source code immediately, along with instructions on how to set the indicator up on your chart so it looks exactly like what you see here. And once you have all the settings here set like mine, you should be good to go to watch this. What I'm looking for a confirmation of an entry opportunity, you're going to see it right here. A perfect example, just a reading in fear or max fear. I'm going to throw in concern too, because there's a lot of volatility and we could still see a move up a little earlier than usual. But anywhere sitting in concern, fear, or max fear historically has led to fantastic entry opportunities before massive moves up in just about any cryptocurrency. Now, for further confirmation, because the market cycle highs and lows calls entry and exit zones, to refine my entry point, I'm going to pull up the Pro Trade Manager. If we get a green dot, this is historically marked fantastic entry opportunities based on local bottoms before moves up. And we can use this as a confirmation indicator for potential moves up after we see a reading in concern, fear, or max fear. That's what I'm watching for in my portfolio trading Ethereum, and a similar strategy that I'm looking for across the crypto market. Now that you're a member with these indicators on your charts, make sure you head over to tradeconfident.io and watch the brand new future forecast as well. This is nearly an hour worth of dense trading content showing how the founder of Trade Confident, Travis Martin himself, is trading his $1 million portfolio using this same data, along with a lot of other points that you may not have seen yet. Links are in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Trade safe, trade confident, and I'll see you in the next one.